we have our three finalists. We now need to pick a winner. So, questions, please, from the floor to see if we can split these three. Anyone have a question? Yes.
I have a question for James. So you mentioned earlier that there is a gap between the intentions and the actions of people. So how would you suggest to close it?
So,
Just the start.
Just the gap between intention and action.
I think cost is always going to be the biggest factor, and access to good travel options. Like some sustainable flights don't truly exist, and they probably won't do for a few decades. But there are alternatives, and I think the more and more people actually engage with sustainability and actually learn more about sustainability, they will just make better and better decisions. It's something that's going to have to happen slowly over the course of a couple of years. Obviously, it needs to happen as quick as possible. But I think as more people see the communities around them making those decisions themselves, they will also follow it as well. I think there's a stat like you don't need 50% of people to start the tipping point. It's only like 3 or 4 or 5%. And once you get a good little proportion of a community to make better decisions, the rest of them follow really quickly. So we just need to reach that tipping point, and then everyone else should be able to follow.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to ask the same question actually to Kate and Safina as well. How do we close the gap between intention and action? Kate, do you want to go first?
So I think around food consumption, people don't think about it because society's set up for it to be so easy, and we've kind of rolled and basically snowballed ourselves into we don't need to think about it ever. And there are so many things since I've been within the food industry that I didn't even realize, but it's only once you choose to educate yourself on it that you do realize, and it is so easy. And you walk, and once it becomes part of just your mindset and your way of being every day, it's so easy to close that gap. It's just about making those conscious choices when you're surrounded by all this convenience around you. But when you start digging into it, you will realize that there's a lot of evil behind this convenience. If you've watched the recent kind of things around ultra processed foods and all of that, and closing the gap is just be mindful, try and waste less, and just think about it a little bit more and bring it into your day to day. And that's how we can close the gap.
Thank you. Safina.
Yeah, so I would give my take from marketing perspective. So we have to understand why people are not doing what they're saying, because the first thing that comes to our mind is what's in it for me. When I'm on holidays, I want to have fun, or I want to feel comfortable, I want to feel good. So I would say what's in it for me. Or if you get the biggest reason behind the gap between intention and behavior, what you say, what you do, and what you actually say do on there, the gap, the reason is explained majorly by social desirability bias. We say that we will do good because we want to be seen as good, but we don't do it. So you tell them other people around you are doing this, so be part of that. That's one way of doing it. And then the other part is just one tree. Oh, if you reuse your towel, you can plant one tree. What that does is they give them the feeling that you will feel good within inside. So that good feeling is something that's in it for me if I reuse a towel. So you have to show them what's in it for you, being a part of community or feeling good about it, or maybe a voucher. Sometimes hotels also give that. Like you will have 5 pounds voucher if you reuse your towel and bed linen, or you will get reward points if you reuse all of this. So you get points on your system. So these are all the ways that you can close that gap, especially when people are in hospitality context where they just want to have fun or relax.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
I've really enjoyed your idea of authentic marketing, but obviously I've never met anyone in marketing who thought they were being inauthentic. So how would
You're a very smart customer now.
yeah? No, I mean, I think they genuinely believe they are being authentic. So how, as a consumer or a business person, what am I looking for to try and discern whether someone's being authentic or inauthentic?
Yeah. So first of all, don't oversell the idea, because I did a study where I tried to oversell the appeal of pleasure and comfort. I said, "Oh, we take care of everything. You relax and you enjoy." People felt very good. When I looked at their facial expression, they were like glowing. They were happy about it. But when I asked them, "Do you trust this hotel?" They were like, "No." So the green skepticism went up there when I tried to oversell it. So you have to balance that, and you have to study their psychology. What are they looking for? They want to have comfortable experience. Even if they're doing something sustainable, they want to do it within their comfort zone. So these are the aspects you have to take care of in authentic marketing, because customer is so much aware beyond our imagination right now. Even a slight shift in your framing of message can trigger skepticism. And this is a big part of my research as well. The skepticism is always coming out, and it serves as a barrier against any intervention that we try to design in hotels.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kate, do you have any other kind of take on that, on the whole idea of, I mean, it's so true, isn't it? Who doesn't want a marketing person who doesn't think that their product is bloody marvellous? It's kind of comes with the territory. So how do you move beyond that to make sure that you are trusted and that the messaging is right around sustainability?
Think so. I'm going to take it from the food industry because that's what I know best. But people don't like to be for sustainability to be in their face. Really, at this point, marketing around sustainability should not scream it. It should be underlayered. It should be part of the product so that the customer does not need to worry about it. For example, we've introduced. There's a lot of things around carbon labels and should you put them on products and does that really change behavior? What we've done from our side is we use it to reassure our customers that they can trust us. So we're not marketing it. We're marketing the fact that we're transparent about what we do and you can trust us. And if you're with us, you're safe. And we show that through transparency and through storytelling around suppliers. But sustainability should not be flashing in your face. And what has previously gone wrong, which is why greenwashing has become such a thing, is all these words that now no one believes. So I feel like good marketing now is not words that you need to believe, but shown through actions and shown through trust of companies. Not try to answer the question there, but
Thank you. James, anything you've got to add on that?
Yes. At Plannermark, all of the work we do is based on 3 core tenets like measurement, engagement, and communication. And that end piece, communication, is so vital. Like, you can do all the good work in the world, you can attend events, you can really engage with your supply chain, but if you're not talking about it in a transparent, proper way that doesn't mislead anyone, you need to just make sure you do it in the right way. And I think people can have all the good intentions in the world, but going back to my talk, like, if you are not educating yourself and empowering others around you to talk about sustainability in the right way, then you're going to end up misleading somewhere down the line. And what I would say as well, it's not just about the marketers, but it's also about the general public, because people are going to mislead you, and there are going to be companies that just want to like chuck eco in front of their name and paint their vans green, even though the vans are diesel and they're selling like whatever. The general public needs to just educate themselves more, and it's sort of everyone in this room's responsibility to make sure that they know what carbon neutrality means, they know what net zero means, and they know what a good green claim looks like, I think.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I've got one.
Okay.
There's one.
Oh, there's one back. Let's go to the audience for
Sorry, yes.
It's about the public educating themselves. So you've got the trust issue here and what we're being told. So we're doing our EVs, for example. But to one side, we're doing it back. The motor manufacturers are pre-registering them to make sales that met the arms in the targets. So how is the general public supposed to trust what people are telling them about the environment and sustainability?
How are the general public supposed to trust? How do we know who to trust? James.
Great point. I don't think that's just limited to EVs, like you saw with I think it was VW or Volkswagen. Yeah, Volkswagen with the diesel scam as well. Like the tests that they ran, they basically switched the sort of high qualityness of the diesel vehicles just for the tests, and then when they were on the road, they just like switched them back again. And that was part of the whole diesel scandal, saying diesel was more environmental when it actually wasn't. And you are seeing similar things with EVs. And again, I don't think that's down to the public to necessarily try and see every single issue that's out there, but they've just got to be conscious that that is going to be part of all walks of life, and they've got to be aware of it. I think the way that, again, like all of us, everyone who's spoken today, can try and combat that is just, again, trying to raise general levels of sustainability knowledge and competency. And it's always the same signs, it's always the same people, and if you just make sure to look out for the signs and educate people on the signs, then yeah, it should be, you know, you're not going to solve everything, but hopefully you can try and combat them before they get out of control.
Kate, is there there's similar things in food? How do we know who to trust?
Yeah. I guess around how to trust it if you're looking at food is certifications. That does help. There are certain levels when it comes to certifications, you know, that you can trust it, whether that's quality, the kind of standards of meat, whether that's where the supplier has come from, what kind of farming method they're using. With food, you can be a little bit, you can trust it due to a certification. And when you pick up a product, for example, I've done a recent project around snacks, and I ended up, because for our clients is basically creating an environmental and social scoring system for snacks, because I didn't really understand the sustainability of what they were consuming in their offices. And maybe you wouldn't actually be surprised with how many snacks say or market that we're so healthy and we're great for the environment, and then have loads of uncertified chocolate and nuts that you don't even know where it's coming from high risk areas. And only because I started looking into these products did I start to kind of know who to trust or not. So I'd say, as a consumer, if you pick something up and you give it a like Google, even with this, I just focused on their website and what they said on their website. And if it looks shady, or if there was no transparent supply chain, if I didn't know where this chocolate was coming from, if there were ethical kind of issues, I scored it low. Because people who are doing good things want to tell you about it. They want to tell you the exact area and farm that they're sourcing their cacao from, or where they're growing their nuts, or whatever they're doing. They want to tell you that. If they're not telling you that, then I'd be skeptical about where that's coming from.
Thank you. Safina, anything to add on that?
Yeah, first of all, the green skepticism, the green certification, I really back that. But the problem is that in hospitality industry, the big hotel chains, they can invest in that, but the small accommodation partners, they are having trouble with that. So it's sort of creating imbalance in the industry as well. So alongside that, as a customer or as a hotel. So from a customer perspective, if they are telling me everything is good and everything is green, that is the red flag that would trigger me. How that deflation that I talked about. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, within the culture of the organization, when you meet the staff, when you arrive at a hotel, and when you talk to the people, you could see that, because as a really sustainable organization, you can see it within their staff behavior, within their staff attitude, and the way they interact with the customer. They look after these small details. That's where they find a green flag. So that is the real difference. Too much perfection is a red flag as a customer within any industry. I don't have any idea of how EV charging industry is performing, but for me as a customer of hospitality or tourism, that's how I would look at things. Too much perfection, no storytelling, no struggles being shared, that's a red flag.
I think that's really important. We talk a lot about there is no such thing as a perfect business or a perfect human. It is all about where you're at and what you're doing with things, and things are changing. So the thing with the whole EV, that's an area that's changing, and the messaging coming from government and all the rest of it is changing, because I guess we're still learning a little bit. So don't be afraid to, if you've made a mistake, you've done something, you've followed a particular route and it hasn't worked, don't be afraid to share that with others, to say, we tried that, things have moved on, and we've changed our messaging. We've got, yes, one more question.
Something that I'm quite interested in is the difference between being eco-conscious and climate anxious. And I was wondering, regarding like with sustainability certifications, if you're eco-conscious, it's good to see those. How do you manage the climate anxiety that could come with, you know, the repeated messaging of how optimistic the environment is? How do you manage the difference between an eco-conscious customer and a climate anxious customer?
Okay, starting to bite into drinks time here. So I'm going to keep the answers quite short, if I may. But yeah, climate anxiety. How do we stay positive whilst being realistic? I'm going this way this time, Safina.
So are you asking from a customer perspective or from
How would
hospitality?
you, I guess, how would you support that customer who's already eco-conscious,
Yeah.
but how would you support them from the anxiety side?
Yeah, so I'm a big advocate of positive psychology that believes in making people feel good about doing the right thing rather than guilt tripping them. People are already having a lot of anxiety and mental health concerns. So this is a big, I am a big advocate of framing messages in a positive way, but in a practical positive way. Like, again, I will go back to the same example. I'm a very big fan of just one tree. So one towel, one tree. So if you frame that a message in that way, the person is going to act, but he's going to make himself feel better about it rather than feel guilty about it. So that's a big no, especially on holidays in layer context and in hospitality context. Framing messages with guilt is like a matter of past now. Us as research community are advocating for more positive framing. So yeah, you have to make people feel cared for, not into guilt tripped on their holidays.
Quick answer, Kate.
I am not in marketing, so I'm going to come at it from a different angle. I feel like I'm a very anxious, climate anxious person myself. And I deal with this on a day-to-day basis. It's my job to know what's happening, and that's horrific. And the way I go about it with clients is I am super transparent, because transparency is the biggest thing to me. Nothing is, as you said, it's a red flag if everything's perfect. Sustainability is not linear. It goes up and down, and communicating that transparency helps people at least understand what you're doing. And then just another one around, just going back to that project that I spoke about, is we looked at all the snacks, we understood them better, and then we put them from the most sustainable to the least sustainable and gave people information about it so that they could make informed choices. And then it wasn't forcing it, they were still there, but then they just had more power. And when you have more power as an anxious person, you feel better because you like to have control over things. So that's what I would say for that.
Very true. Thank you, James. Final point.
It's actually very relevant because I'm reading a book right now called "This Is Not the End of the World" by Hannah Ritchie. I don't know if anyone's read that. Really enjoying it. And one of the key sort of opening parts of the first chapter was just, you have to try and not be pessimistic, but you equally can't just be blindly optimistic. You can't just be like, yeah, we got this, we'll solve it, it's fine, like, don't worry about it. Because realistically, there's going to be a hell of a lot of work to actually avert the climate crisis. And it's much more about being an urgent optimist or a realistic optimist, and actually looking at the data, educating yourself, and looking around these kind of rooms and saying there's a lot of people willing to actually do the hard graft and actually come together and find the solutions together. It's not going to be easy. We have to remain to be urgent, but we've got to also be optimistic as well. So that's my message to you.
Thank you. Urgent optimism. That's the thing.
It's happened last time as well.
Okay. A few more seconds. Oh, was that a sympathy vote for James?
Thanks, guys. Ever the optimist.
Yeah. Urgent optimism, James. Urgent optimism. Right. I'm going to close this in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One more. I need one more.
Safina, congratulations. Thank you all. That was brilliant. Brilliant ending to it. Safina, actually, Jane, could I ask you? We've got a really exciting little goodie bag for you. Jane, if I could ask you to present that.
Amazing.
I'll give you a hug.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. You're quite goodies. Oh my God. That's awesome. And if I could just say to all the speakers, just while I've got you, our lovely team from Pick PR are going to be interviewing, so they'd love to have a quick word with all of you as well. So either Tom or the 2 colleagues at the back.
Yes. All speakers, please wait behind. Anything else from you, Grace?
No, thank you very much. It was brilliant. Looking forward to having you.
Speakers, thank you so much.
Can we have a picture together?
We will definitely get a picture from you. So it is drinks time. Bear with me for just 1 second because I want to get this right. Our drinks this evening have very kindly been sponsored by Carefree. Carefree is probably the perfect charity for us to have worked with on this. They're a charity that's transforming vacant hotel rooms into vital breaks for full-time unpaid carers. Before we go and enjoy the drinks on them, I would just like to invite Charlotte up to tell us a little bit about what you do. Thank you, Charlotte.